Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Stephanie here with Mer Magic Healing. If you are new to my channel, I am a soul coach and meditation guide, along with intuitive reader. I really, truly love to show up for every single human being out there that needs love, that is going through shit. We've all been through shit, right? I've had the most transformative last 2 years. 10 years ago I was in a car accident that completely life changing, right? You know how those pinnacle moments happen when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Anyways, after my car accident, I ended a relationship. I ended up having to walk away from a child. I was a hairstylist, trying to rebuild myself, right? I ended up starting my own business. And, through the process of even the business, I then hurt myself again. Minorly this time, and then that took a shift, and I did more healing and more energy work, and then I did more mentorships and some different coaching and programs myself, right? So I've done I use Holy Fire Reiki and neurolinguistics programming to really NLP I use for timeline healing sessions, so that it's the process of going through past experiences on an unconscious level and emotionally detaching from the traumas and triggers that keep us in these negative cycles and patterns and beliefs. And because hey, we don't know any different, and our ego is but just stay where you're at because it's safer in there, right? Well, at the end of the day, loving these cards too, by the way. Very in tune with absolutely everything, right? And so then from the NLP, I did even more healing and walked away from, I'd reconnected with my high school sweetheart after 15 years. And, 2 years, 2 attempts of living together, 3 breakups later, I was finally okay, spirit. Amazing man. Right? There was some toxicity and unhealthy behavioral patterns and traits and different things like that I was okay. But through the process of being in that relationship, because I had gone back to the beginning, I physically relived it, and it was really funny because while I was in a retreat, I had actually asked Spirit for this experience. So it was a lot easier for me to be very, very grateful, right? And so then the final breakup with him and I was living with my best friend and 3 kids, and we were and then COVID had just hit and everything, so we were launching a business and everything like that, but then we were oh wait, hold on, that doesn't work. And so then entered the 6-month crash course on healing and getting things back together and really tuning in, massive dark night of the soul, 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 and it was very interesting because I always knew and felt I was very, very different, but I'm not somebody who would ever I would never call myself a psychic, or it's I struggle with labels. So at the end of the day, I'm a mentor, I'm a guide, I'm a muse, I'm an inspiration, I'm a lighthouse. And so showing up in whatever way that needs to be for all of my beautiful starseeds and all of my beautiful little loves and people on this planet, I came here to heal the earth, right? And I have, in the last 2 years, I fully walked away from that relationship. And when I finally made the decision to be enough is enough, I'm done, I'm letting this go, in 24 hours, I got a new job. I found my first ever apartment all by myself. It was a little 500 square foot studio on top of a garage. It was amazing and lovely. And then a week after that, bought a new car. And it's because I showed up to the universe going, okay, and finally I'm done. I surrendered. I let go. I let go of trying to make it happen. I let go of trying to push it. I let go of trying to like beat my head against a fucking glass wall. And the universe went, okay, thanks for actually showing up for what you want. And, you know, so then that job ended up leading me to the job that I am now in, where I manage a crystal store, and has helped assist me in launching my business even like further and deeper so that I can show up for my clients. I get to be surrounded by beautiful crystals and magic every single day. I get to meet beautiful walks of life within people every single day. Sometimes, yes, let's be honest, they're a little irritating and annoying. Like, we all have our days. But 95% of the time, I absolutely love my job and love the life that I created, because now through having this job, you know, I get a raise, and then I moved into a new apartment and manifested this apartment. Like, I'm in the penthouse, like Sex in the City living. Like, I have downtown and mountains. You know, like I doubled my space. My old apartment, you could fit into like the living room of this place. I have a treatment room that is like, I'm doing sessions. I'm, you know, building my YouTube channel. I'm building my dream. I'm building my passion. I'm building the things that speak to my soul, even if they go against what everybody thinks I should be doing, you know. And it's really funny because I look back and I reflect, and like my mom's always told me like, oh, you should be a teacher. And I'm like, I am a teacher. It's just what type of teacher, right? And so, you know, here I am 2 years after walking away from that relationship. I was in an experience where I met a man this summer, and very, very intense, like karmic partner, twin flame, like soulmate energy, like, like legit hold on to your titties and like, let's go for a ride. And, you know, it was really interesting because going through that experience, I ended that relationship within 5 weeks because I was like, no, thank you. I've been here. I recognized the energy. I maintained my awareness. I stayed grounded. I stayed within my center. Like I like was in it, but on top of it at the same time, it was very, very different. I, you know, reached out to my supports. I actually talked about it. I was open. I expressed what I was feeling. I cried like a motherfucker. Like, I don't even know how many times I cried, right? And yet, through that process, like I would go through an experience where I would bawl my face off for 24 hours and then go to sleep, wake up the next day and feel exhausted from like the energetic drain, but yet showed zero signs physically that I had just been through that deep of a transformation. And so it's very interesting when you learn how to be able to go through your experiences and be in the tornado, but still being aware of the fact that you're going through a tornado. And so it's learning to step out of it, right? Become the observer of what's going on. Like, because an event is just an event. You know, like I keep hearing it, and apparently I'm gonna freaking possibly like tattoo it on me somewhere, maybe, I don't know. But that whole process of whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because nothing is either good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. William Shakespeare. My bestie has this on her arm, and you know what? It is such a powerful message because it's all about perspective. What perspective are you putting and holding towards your life? And are you looking at your life in a way of reflecting on your problems and what isn't good enough and how things aren't working, or how hard it is to pull you out of a really shitty situation? Or are you like, yeah, that sucked. I'm gonna like take a day, maybe two. I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to observe. I'm going to sit within my own self, within my own energy, and recognize and understand what exactly it is that I want and what exactly I don't want. And get intentional. Work with your guides. Your like messages here, legit. Really, really funny. I haven't shown you guys any of them yet. But it's like, I'm talking, because it's talking like lives and patterns and cycles, right? And so like, you look at me 10 years ago. You look at me 5 years ago, right? You look at me 3 years ago, 2 years ago. In some ways, it was baby steps and like a snail. And in other ways, it was super fast and super intense and super like, holy shit, fuck balls. I don't even like know what's going on. But you know what? Like, our ancient future, okay? This card here shows me that history repeats itself so that you can learn the lessons through every perspective and every lesson, like every level of every perspective, to totally transmute the cycle in the wheel, right? Radical expansion. Radical expansion is all about like, this is like in tarot, this would be like your tower card. Okay, Dark Night of the Soul, radical expansion. When you're going through that darkness and you're going through those moments of like, what the fuck? You are radically expanding. So be mindful of the language that you use when you're speaking, right? Like, because when you shine your light in the authenticity of all that you are, and everything that you dream of, and like, shine your light, like, stop holding yourself back. It's a conditioned to belief, okay? It's an ancestral conditioned belief that you have to dim your own light for somebody else to shine. Fuck that noise. We just gonna take that and we're gonna throw it out the window. And we're going to sprinkle in some new codes and some new downloads of strength and safety and love and courage and power. Because when you feel safe to be you and you open your crown chakra to all of the guides and all of the support that you have, you can truly sit in the beauty of your vulnerability. Vulnerabilities are in no way a weakness. So that thought that you think like a vulnerability makes you weak, like, wash that. Because every single person that like opens those vulnerabilities to me in any type of a session or just a crossing at the store or anything, I always thank them, because they're showing you their soul. They're showing you. And so when you show, okay, right? So somebody shows you their vulnerabilities, right? And then you open your crown to the ultimate self, connect into your higher self. You can see it from a different perspective. Open yourself up to the lessons and the guides and the messages, because you're worth it, right? And you are like harmonic flight. Through the process of going through those shadows and the dark night of the soul, on the other side of that is you taking flight, because it's the flower of life. It's a circle, right? You're going in circles, but it's are you going in circles and staying in the same like place, or are you going in circles and going through that radical expansion, because you're taking those circles and you're shifting and transmuting them. So instead of it being like just a little circle and I'm like a little hamster in a hamster wheel, turn that hamster wheel into a slinky. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Because, hey, guess what? You put a slinky downstairs, what does it do? It just keeps going until it hits the bottom. Okay? So shift that analogy from like going into that being like, well, but like I'm going into the like, but I don't want to go down. Okay, but what if the process of going down is the way back up? Mic drop. You gotta go down to go back up. And it's sticky. Are you kidding? I did episode 1, part 2 of horoscopes and housecopes last night, right? 12 zodiac reading, collective readings. And, you know, we did hers the day before and we did mine last night, and we're like going into it. And I'm like, oh my God. But I literally, it was the process of like, all right, I'm going to hand myself my own ass, and I'm okay with that. And I'm going to do it on live TV. And you know what? It was more a moment of like spirit being supportive and everything, because it was like my sacral chakra in water, and then I got dark night of the soul, and then I got surrender to the divine, and then I got, you know, it. And so if you go into something thinking that it's going to be like the worst thing ever, well, then that's exactly what it is, because that's the energy that you're putting into it. But if you come at it and you trust your innocence, okay, you have a conversation, right? Like, and we had this, and we literally talked about this last night, which is really funny. This is validation. Okay, I don't have no validation train, but I'm sure that the train is probably going. It's, if you have a conversation with a 5-year-old about what they want to be when they grow up, they don't sit there and think about all of the things that could go wrong, or like how hard it's gonna be, or anything like that. They're like, I'm gonna be a motherfucking dinosaur. And you know, you can sit there and be like, well, but dinosaurs are extinct. So, I'm going to be a dinosaur. I'll figure it out. And I mean, like, as an adult, you're like, okay, well, but how? Because, like, you struggle because you've been told to be practical, be realistic, right? Well, being realistic in no way means that you have to give up on your dream. Being realistic means that you're going to be flexible. You're going to hold on to that innocence of like, hey, I'm going to be a dinosaur, but at the end of the day, maybe I'm just going to be like a pyrotechnics dinosaur. I think I say it right. I don't know. The like mechanical dinosaur, right? Still a dinosaur. it's still a real dinosaur. It's just a real dinosaur in a different light and in a different way. So it's okay, right? I'm a teacher in a different light and a different way. It's okay for you to be different, because this whole process is our journey to wholeness. And your wholeness lies within yourself. Bring it in to shine your light out and surrender that which you cannot control. Surrender the outcome. Let go of needing to know how it's going to come together. Just trust and have faith that as you shine your light, you go through the radical expansion, through the journey to wholeness, and you trust your innocence. You take the harmonic flight through your vulnerabilities as you activate your crown chakra, surrender to change the past and create a new future. Because when you let go of the energy of the past and you open yourself up, what you don't see coming is your safety to speak your truth. Speak your truth. Trust yourself. And even in the moments where everything is like, what the fuck? Hold on to your titties and know that you've got this. Because you're meant to be awesome and you're meant to be amazing. And if in any way you want to learn more, talk more about Heartbreak Healer or anything else that I do have to offer, please drop me a comment. I would love to work with you. Sending you all the love and light. I also do Holy Fire Reiki. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did that in this past year. And so going through all of that growth and expansion in the magic as well. And just trust yourself. You guys are on a beautiful journey and you're exactly where you're meant to be. So go be the rainbow. Mwah! Love you guys. Have a great day. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want more. Click that little red button with the bell and all the things, because it really helps build and grow. And mwah, bye.